Jordy. I am Jordan Herrard Coupe, and you are about to watch me have a nervous breakdown. Free agency. What the frick? Before we get into all of that, though, there was some other major news that broke this week. After 20 years in the league, Drew Brees has officially retired 15 years to the date that he originally signed with the New Orleans Saints. I am not crying. You're crying. No, I am crying just a little bit. You're heartless if you're not. The news itself did not shock me. I honestly would have been more shocked if he announced that he was coming back and he was playing for another season. I think we were all just kind of waiting for that when he was going to make the official announcement. When he played his last game against the Buccaneers, we all kind of knew, but it hadn't been officially confirmed from him. Now we know. And I think he did it absolutely perfectly. The sentiment behind the date itself, having his little nuggets be the ones to actually make the announcement, seeing how excited they are to finally get to spend some more quality time with their dad, like, it was so wholesome and so sad. Let's put it in perspective. I turned 23 years old in 2 weeks. Ugh. So for my entire coherent existence, Drew Brees has been in the NFL. He's one of those players that made kids my age fall in love with the game. So I am so happy for him. I think this is the perfect timing. I'm glad he's getting out when he is. But it's so freaking weird knowing that I'm getting old. This is like the first official passing of the torch that I'm experiencing. And I don't know how to feel about it. This, I know. This is not a Pepsi. I'm trying to diet. So instead I'm drinking lemonade, because the thought of water scares me. For the Saints now, Jameis Winston. They have brought him back on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. So I guess this will be the season where we can officially see if he can revamp his career. The Bears were going in pretty heavy for him, and the Saints obviously see something good in him. They wouldn't have brought him back if they didn't. So I'm going to choose to remain optimistic about Jameis Winston. On the other hand, though, they do still have Taysom Hill, one of the highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league right now. They have just restructured his contract, saving themselves $7.5 million in cap space that they desperately needed. They are still in the red, but they're moving in the right direction. That's all we can ask for. And the contract that they just wrote up is honestly brilliant. It's a 4-year, $140 million extension, but all 4 years are voidable. So at the end of this season, they can determine what they actually think of him. And if they find him to be their top tier starting quarterback, then next offseason, they can work on creating a new deal. And like I said, for this season, it saves them $7.5 million. So by signing Winston for a year and then giving Hill this contract, it literally sets them up this season to test out who can actually be their guy long term, which I think is a graceful and beautiful transition after having the GOAT for the last 15 years. This is the smartest move for them, and I fully support the energy that the Saints have created. Okay, I guess now we have to talk about free agency. Last week, Dak and the Cowboys finally came to an agreement, and he has gotten the long-term big money contract that he has been patiently waiting for. The Packers somehow found a way to pay Aaron Jones. I don't really know how they did it, but they did. He isn't getting paid as much as he would have if he went to another organization, but he's still getting paid pretty hefty, and this is where he wanted to be. So overall, this brings me so much joy. Ryan Fitzmagic is not retiring, thank goodness. He is now on the Washington football team. Yannick Ngakoue is now in Las Vegas on the Raiders, and the Bucs gave Shaq Barrett a 4-year deal worth up to $72 million. Ravens running back Mark Ingram and Raiders... This is too much alliteration. Ravens running back Mark Ingram and Raiders defensive tackle Malik Collins are now both in Houston. How many other players can I list off before we actually have to talk about the Patriots? You know how when you like go through a breakup and you go through the 6 degrees of separation or the 6 degrees of grief, whatever the script song says? I feel like this season was Bill Belichick in mourning, and he was like, listen, I'm hurting, I'm tired, I really don't feel like trying, so we're just not going to. We're just gonna see where we're at with what we have left. And to put it quite simply, where they were at wasn't very good. And then, to dig the nail even deeper into the coffin, he had to sit back and watch Brady and Gronk win another Lombardi trophy together, trot all over Tampa. So Mr. Bill basically woke up and said, yup, it's revenge time. Belichick is now in the phase of this breakup where the girl would normally like just go and get bangs just because she has to feel something. And he went into free agency and that man chose violence. Every time my phone rang, I was like, nope, not again. This cannot still be going on. His stimulus check hit and he used it to honestly construct a beautiful team. I remember waking up and honestly, sorry, my foot keeps falling asleep. And honestly, it like feels like a month ago now. It was just a couple of days ago that I woke up and saw they were re-signing Kim. And at first I was like, like that. After this season, that seemed a little strange, but I was like, maybe they have some plans to do something in free agency and get him some weapons. Oh my God, I wasn't ready. I was literally not prepared for the plan that Bill Belichick had conjured up. Now, is this a Golden State Warriors powerhouse kind of team? Absolutely not. You will not catch me saying that. But what the Patriots did was they went and got very talented guys at nearly every single position instead of going out and spending buco bucks on 1 or 2 key guys. It's brilliant. They got an offensive tackle, a defensive tackle, a defensive back, my defensive back, my sweet little green goblin, Jalen Mills. Now, we had that man playing safety. If you look at him compared to Brian Dawkins, you can clearly see why that was a frickin' anomaly, but he was there for our Super Bowl team. He was in Philly for a very long time. I absolutely loved him. So the sentiment of him going to New England absolutely crushes me. Whatever. They got a linebacker, they got a D lineman, they got Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. Mom, pick me up, I'm scared. Oh, and both top tight ends right now in this free agency, yeah, they're both in New England now. So it's like totally fine. Everything is fine. I'm actually kidding. It's really not fine. Now, last season, this team was 7-9 with basically no team. Cam had more interceptions last season than he had touchdowns. So things were definitely a little bit scary, but now to have him surrounded with weapons and protection while also working on your defense, I straight up don't think we can overlook them this upcoming season. I still need some time to digest all of this. Do not get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here in this very moment and say the Patriots are now Super Bowl contenders, but I hate even talking good about them. It honestly makes me very sad. But last season, I was not afraid of them in the slightest, and with the way things are looking right now, especially like we're still headed into the draft. I think we'd be stupid not to be a little bit terrified of them. We will see what Cam is capable of with some targets. And ladies and gentlemen, this is only the beginning. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel so you can tune in all off season while we watch all of this craziness unfold. And I will see you next week.